Stop acting all high and mighty just because you've made some pocket change. Is that it? You think you're better than me just because you've made some money? Is your ego that big even when you have a husband like me? I never said that. Well, it sounds like you did. You're messing up my space without even realizing it. Get a clue. Why do I have to put up with this? I've never thought about one-upping you or acting like I'm better. What's your problem? If you have so many complaints, then go ahead and divorce me. Bet you can't. You can't do anything on your own, can you? Fine. I'll happily divorce you. What? That was the moment I decided to divorce him. My husband looked stunned, as if he never expected me to make that decision. This is not a bluff. I genuinely intend to divorce him. 3 years ago, my mother-in-law, Sophia, passed away. Sophia was kind to me from the time my husband and I attended family meetings. I remember her always calling out to me, "Ava, Ava," showing concern and taking care of me. We had a good relationship until she got sick and passed away. When Sophia died, I was devastated. She was such a bright spirit. It's hard to find someone like her. I was extremely sad, but my father-in-law, Ethan, seemed unfazed. Ethan has been wheelchair-bound due to a work injury. While Sophia was alive, she would take care of Ethan every day, enduring his complaints. He would constantly gripe, even though Sophia took care of him. Watching them, I often felt angry at Ethan. How could he be so arrogant when he can't even do anything on his own? But Sophia never lost her temper and humbly obeyed Ethan's rants. One day, I asked Sophia, "Why don't you ever get mad, Sophia? If it were me, I'd tell him to stop complaining, since I'm the one helping him. But you're always smiling, even when Ethan nags you." I was really curious about that. Looking back, it might have been an inappropriate question, but I couldn't help wondering. Sophia answered my question with a smile. "Long ago, Ethan, his mother, and I used to live together. His mom had a unique personality. If Ethan tried to help me, she'd say, 'A man shouldn't be doing that.' So Ethan got used to not doing anything, and has been like that ever since." And you don't get mad? If yelling solved problems, life would be so much easier for me too. The talking doesn't do much. So I've given up on that. We're the type of couple that, well, I wouldn't call it love, maybe companionship. We're not looking to divorce, and we're both doing our own things. So maybe this is what works for us. But it can get lonely, you know? If our son ever says something weird, come to me. I'll be there in a heartbeat." "Thank you," I said, just before Sophia passed away. After that, it was natural for Ethan to move in with us. I remember feeling nervous about the whole situation. Up to that point, it was Sophia who took care of Ethan. I never thought I could fill her shoes. Feeling anxious, the move-in day approached. I did consult my husband about my worries. I shared my true feelings, saying I was uneasy about doing what Sophia used to do. But, as expected, my husband just shrugged it off. "You'll get over your worries. Dad living with us won't change much." My husband was far from empathetic and didn't understand what this cohabitation meant at all. So, without any support from him, the cohabitation started. "Ethan, please make yourself at home. Don't hesitate to speak up," I said, offering the warmest smile I could muster. Ethan didn't react. His face was like a stone wall. At that moment, I thought living together was impossible. But recalling what Sophia had done, I resolved to make it work. During one dinner, I served mostly meat dishes because I didn't know Ethan's preferences, but he complained. Is meat all you can cook? What? Didn't it suit your taste? I asked. It's not that. I'm just tired of all this meat. My wife cooked way better meals. How can you be so bad at this? I'm sorry. By the way, what do you like or dislike, Ethan? I don't have any particular likes. If I had to say steak and alcohol, I hate pizza. Got it? I'm only saying this once. The first time he genuinely spoke to me, and this is what he had to say. I was stunned and couldn't respond. It was only a week into his living with us. I thought it was impossible, but then considered maybe all I needed to do was diversify the meals. But Ethan found reasons to complain about everything, like his personal items and laundry. I used to do the laundry and leave it folded in Ethan's room, but one day he claimed his socks were missing. It was strange because they were there just the other day and somehow I got blamed for it. Of course, I denied it. Once I drop off the laundry, I don't touch it again. Still, Ethan gave me a suspicious look, so we searched his room together and found the socks wedged between other clothes. He claimed it happened because I fold laundry weirdly. That was the last straw for me, so I let out all the frustrations I had been holding back. Ethan, did you ever consider you moved them yourself? If so, the problem is with you, not how I fold the laundry. What? How dare you speak to me like that? Apologize right now. Unacceptable. Now I understood why Sophia gave up on Ethan. He is unyielding and won't change his ways for anyone. I can't imagine anyone getting along with this Ethan. I thought I was alone in this, but there was someone close who understood my side of the story. It was my husband. The two of them get along great and often share drinks. That would be fine, but together, they look down on me. I've thought about ending it all, even divorcing, countless times. One time, I reached my breaking point when I was treated like a servant. Ethan, do you really dislike me that much? Dislike? Well, if you don't do as I say, then yeah, I do. In that case, why don't you live alone? That way, you won't have to be mad at anyone. I'm in a wheelchair. How could I possibly live alone? Are you out of your mind? We continued arguing, neither of us willing to compromise. Then he said living in a facility would be more peaceful. Hearing this, I decided my goal was to send Ethan to a care facility. That would free me from him. My husband was there and promised that if I could save up the money, Ethan would move into a facility. Despite saying I couldn't do it, Ethan insisted it had to be a high-end retirement home. That would cost roughly $70,000. Normally, I'd think it was impossible. But my goal was to get rid of Ethan, so I was determined to save up $70,000. From then on, my life completely changed. Part-time work wouldn't make much difference, and I didn't want to appear desperate, so I chose to work remotely. It might sound cliche, but I used to work as a designer before getting married. And a friend had contacted me a few months back asking for help on a project which I had put on hold. I decided to take the job because the time coincided with us all moving in together. The pay was really good. I started saving up money this way. It took me about a year and a half. I think I did it pretty quickly, but that's because I was extremely frugal. I took my banking card and went to talk to my husband and Ethan, who were having a friendly chat. When I joined their cheerful atmosphere, both of them glared at me. Can I talk to you guys for a second? What's up? Is it so important that you need to interrupt our conversation? It can't be that big of a deal, right? Since they didn't seem to want to listen to me, I showed them the banking card. Do you remember the talk about the facility a year and a half ago? The facility? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean the talk about whether Dad should go into a care facility? Yeah, that one. It was a $70,000 facility, remember? What about it? I've saved up the money. Take a look at this banking card. Huh? Ethan looked puzzled as he took the banking card. When he flipped to the page showing the current balance, his eyes widened in astonishment. What? No way! How did you get this much money? Wait, what's going on, Dad? Are you serious? Where did you get all this money? Of course, I earned it. You've seen me working on the computer at home, haven't you? My husband and Ethan were at a loss for words. Finally. Now I can live separately from Ethan. I felt bad for Sophia in heaven, but I had to do this, or else I'd go crazy. Then Ethan, who had been looking at the banking card, threw it. Don't act so high and mighty just because you saved up some change. I'm not going into any facility with this. Why? You said you'd go if it was a $70,000 facility. The price has changed a bit, but it's still enough. Then my husband spoke. It's my father we're talking about. It was crazy to even think about putting him in a facility. Then why didn't you say that back then? You both agreed he should only go to a high-end facility. That's why I saved up. Shut up. Just divorce me then. What? I said it before. If you don't like the way I do things, you should leave. Are you serious? Yeah. If you have complaints, try divorcing me. Well, that's true. After all, a woman can't survive without her husband. My husband and Ethan laughed at me. I finally made up my mind. I'm fine with divorce. Fine. I'll happily divorce you. What? Are you serious? Absolutely. I'll start the paperwork later. From tomorrow, I'll start moving my stuff. Hey, if you're joking, stop it. Think about what you're doing. You can't make it on your own. Why not? I managed to save up $70,000 in a year and a half. What exactly can't I do on my own? Well, I used to let my husband take the lead when it came to money. But now, I'm the one who's significantly ahead. Far from being dependent, I'm the one who can support us now. So, I'll leave you to think about this. Come up with an answer, okay? Bye for now. With that, I left our home and went back to my parents' house. I had already filled them in on the situation. I told them about the frequent argument with Ethan and how moving his dad into a care facility might change things. But it turns out that not only did things not improve, but Ethan also refused to put his dad in a facility. I couldn't spend any more of my time on those two. A week later, my husband reached out asking to come over and talk. I thought it was a good chance to see what he had been contemplating over the past week, so I returned home for a brief visit. As soon as I walked in, I noticed something was off. The faint smell of garbage wafted from the entrance, and laundry was scattered everywhere. Dirty dishes still filled the kitchen. It wasn't the same home I left a week ago. I figured, this is what happens when two people who don't do chores live together. We decided to talk in the bedroom, which was still clean, and right away, my husband pleaded for me to come back. In this past week, both Dad and I have realized how much you've been doing for us. We're really sorry. Then Ethan rolled in on his wheelchair. Look, I guess I've been in the wrong too. How about we both make some changes and live together again? To be frank, I had no expectations for Ethan's apology, if that's what he's considering this to be. He's going to improve, so I should too. If that's his idea of an apology, then I don't understand it. I decided to keep my distance. I know why they're asking for a do-over. They probably want me back because there's nobody to take care of them now that their housewife is gone. If I return, I know I'll be treated the same way. So I won't go back. I get what both of you are saying, but sorry, I'm not coming back. Why? We're apologizing, isn't that enough? Seriously, we're even bowing our heads here. What more do you want? Oh, Dad, don't say that. See, that's the attitude I'm talking about. Ethan, is this your idea of an apology? It's the same as always, so I assumed you didn't reflect on anything. What? So you just want me to take care of the house because you can't, right? You can't handle Ethan, so you'd rather leave it all to me and go off doing whatever you want? You even considered putting him in a facility and you dare say, he's my dad, you know? Maybe you should refrain from making such reckless statements without understanding the reality. Ugh. Having said my piece, I handed the divorce papers to my husband. Whoa, are you serious about this? I've told you, yes. I'm serious. You were the one who said, if you have complaints, then let's get divorced, right? Well, I have a lot of complaints about you too, so I've decided to get a divorce. Do you understand now? Unable to take back his words, my husband was silenced. Don't ever think that being the breadwinner puts you in a position of power. It's true, housewives do depend on their husband's earnings, but at the same time, you're able to work because the housewife takes care of every aspect of your life. If you don't get that, maybe you two would be better off single. Poor Sophia up in heaven must be feeling sorry for you. Bye now, you two incompetents. And so, the issue came to a close. Later on, my husband apparently decided he had to act and started making arrangements for Ethan to enter a facility. Ethan strongly opposed the decision, leading to a big fight between him and his dad. Their relationship, once close, rapidly deteriorated, and now my husband is reluctantly completing the paperwork for the facility. Since then, work has been going well for me. If things continue like this, I'll probably be aiming for a higher income. Right now, I'm enjoying my work, but I do hope to build a warm family someday. However, for now, I just want to enjoy being on my own.